Hey guys, long time no see. Too long if you ask me, so I hope you're all doing well. So one of the biggest recent deals, or should I say free agent signings, was Dennis Schroder to the Boston Celtics on a $5.9 million mid-level exception. Dennis Schroder is a very good player, and for a mid-level exception, that's a bargain. But the big deal here is that during the season, Schroder was offered a 4-year, $84 million contract by the Lakers, and he didn't accept, because whether he wanted to be the guy on the team, or if, as we later found out, he thought he could get about 100 to 120 million in free agency, whatever the case was, he really overplayed his hand, and now he's on a 1-year deal, will try to prove his worth again, and to me, it will be really hard in Boston, because they too have two budding superstars on the team, and he won't be the first option on offense, so he might not get that many chances to earn even another offer of a $84 million contract. Schroder is a solid point guard who averages 14.3 points and 4.7 assists for his career, but overall he's more of a sixth man. He can be great against other reserves, but when you play against other superstar point guards, especially those who can defend, he really crumbles. Schroder had one strong season as a starter for the Atlanta Hawks when he averaged 19.4 points and 6.2 assists, but at the same time, he shot just 29% from the three-point line. That has been one of his weaknesses throughout his career. He shot 33.7% from the three for his career, which is average or even a little below average, but he's asking for a big payday. I think in OKC he showed what he really can be, and that's your sixth man. In fact, before being traded to the Lakers, he averaged 18.9 points and 4 assists on the best shooting numbers of his career, 46.9% from the field and 38.5% from the three-point line. That's his role: come off the bench, provide scoring, some assists, and be a leader of the second unit. But he thought more of himself, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You should have dreams, aspirations, you should want to be more, but in this case, with the Lakers, he was a starter. He did play the most minutes per game of his career with 32.1 minutes per game, and he rewarded them with 15.4 points per game, the lowest output of his career since he started playing more than 20 minutes per game, and his shooting numbers almost mirrored his career percentages. So everyone had a chance to see that maybe he isn't a great starter. He's a good starter, and an $84 million contract for a good starter is a very good amount of dough. Maybe even overpriced, especially if you take into consideration his playoff performances. There was a game where in 26 minutes he didn't score a single point. And that's another thing with him. In the playoffs, he just plays worse. In 9 seasons, he's made the playoffs 8 times, and only once he improved during the playoffs. That was back in 2017 with the Hawks. 1 year he delivered about the same production, and all the other times he just was worse. His field goal percentage was worse, his averages were worse, so he really doesn't help himself with his playoff resume. And this year was particularly bad. With AD injured, he had a chance to be the second fiddle on the offense, but in one game, he left a big fat 0 in the box score, and other times he just wasn't impressive. He had solid games, but never jumped off the board like, wow, what a game by Schroder. If only in a bad way, like that 0-point game against Phoenix. Also, for a starting point guard, he's not that good of a passer. He can move the ball, but he doesn't have that extra vision like LeBron or Lonzo, for example, if we want to include another ex-Laker in this comparison. He'll make obvious passes and deliver the ball where it needs to be, but he won't make any extraordinary plays passing the ball. And to be one of the top point guards, you really need to have that quality. He's not a Houdini dribbling the ball like Kyrie or Steph Curry. He definitely can't shoot like Steph or Dame or Kyrie. He's a better defender than them, but at the end of the day, quality offense and ball distribution also matters. So, in my eyes, he's a mid to low level starter and great bench guy. He proved once again that he doesn't deserve a $100+ million contract, at least not from the Lakers. Now, he's definitely worth more than a mid-level exception, but I think a $100 million contract will be hard to get now. 20+ million per was a very good offer from the Lakers, and they had that necessity as well at the position. In Boston, he won't shoot more than Brown or Tatum. They're the two best options on offense for the Celtics, and guys who average numbers do get big contracts. And in Boston, he might come off the bench behind Marcus Smart, so less minutes, less chances to prove himself, Smart is also the heart and soul of that team, and he's also a better, or at least an equal defender to Schroder. A lot to prove for Schroder this year. A lot to prove. But let's wish the guy luck, and let's hope he cashes in during the next free agency. What do you think, guys? What was a fair contract offer for Schroder, and how much money he could get in the next free agency? Would you fire your agent if you lost an additional $80 million? Please leave a comment down below with your thoughts on this subject. Like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and thanks. This was Purple Prince, and I'm out.